Where in previous technological revolutions, new ideas were created and maybe decision makers said, I don't know if we're ready for that. AI feels quite different because now I hear from CEOs and from CTOs, from policymakers, from community leaders, we want it. We need to figure out how to make AI a part of the work that we do. And to me, that's quite hopeful.
I like that hopefulness, but I also have a little bit of trepidation
Of course.
myself, partly about the workers, but also about the people who are implementing it. You said, a few years ago, there were a handful of AI experts. People, you've spent decades looking at this. Now everybody thinks they're an AI expert, and we don't even know what we have in front of us. How do you feel about that?
I think that's exactly right. And I think one of the most unfortunate things that's happened is the way that the headlines follow these proclamations or statements from technology entrepreneurs who don't limit their statements to technology, but often want to talk about economic structuring or about drug discovery or about any number of other topics that aren't part of their core discipline. The challenge I have with it is not what people might say, but rather in the ways that it shapes a public narrative that becomes about profit, that becomes about efficiency, that becomes about making decisions about American competitiveness or domination of the international realm, but fails to acknowledge the very basic truth that all of this transformation that's happening isn't just happening for a few people that have control of that technology. It's happening, unfortunately, to many, many billions of people on this planet. And I wonder why we don't have a conversation about how we shift that to a for, so a transformation that happens for people, and maybe much more profoundly, a transformation that happens by people. It means that we need to have a very different conversation. We'd no longer talk about the $500 billion that's been proposed to build a data center, to build an emergent and new form of AI, but rather a question about why there's such a vacuum of funding to create the translation of the AI we have today, to use it to do things that actually makes people's lives better today and tomorrow. From building the translational AI that improves health outcomes, from investing in our educational systems, from really having a thoughtful conversation about how we structure our economy and the incredible and powerful role that workers have in shaping what this future should look like. If we could move to that conversation, that trepidation that you and I feel, it wouldn't go away. But maybe it would let us drive towards a more dynamic sense of a more inclusive future.